So, what's going on, guys? Today I'm gonna show you three stocks that I picked that might rally and that I'm looking out for. So, the first one is Visa. Here in front of me is the chart. Now, let's just analyze it real quick. So, now we dropped here below the 200 EMA, and usually when that happens, yeah, we saw this uptrend where we retested the, or sometimes we even fell below the 200 EMA, which is happening right now. And usually the RSI tends to go, the CCI tends to be pretty low at these levels, and the MACD does as well. Now here we have been going lower and below the zero line, which usually means that we will see a turnaround and go high up, as we did here previously in October 2020, January this year, and now we are seeing the same situation. We might see choppiness and go up and down the 200 EMA, as we did back here in November 2018. Because if you look here at the MACD, we see this kind of wave pattern going up and down, back and forth, and this kind of is forming here now a little bit. So we might see here up and down as well. We just zoom out a little bit. So there you go. So technically what that means is that we could still see here a consolidation pattern where we just go back and forth between this support area here. Just quickly, so somewhere around here, and somewhere around here would be the resistance line. So this could be a pattern that we will see, and then after, likely we will continue to go higher. So this is why I'm keeping my eyes open and I'm watching Visa, because if we go to the weekly chart, we see here the CCI is pretty low, the MACD is coming to pretty low levels as well, and we only retested the 200 EMA on the weekly. This was last year, of course, it was COVID, and here a couple of times we retested the 100 EMA, which would be somewhere around here. We could still drop to 210, which means we rarely see this happening looking at Visa for the past couple of years. So that being said, my entry or my trade for this longer position would be somewhere around here in the middle between the 50 and the 100 EMA, which means we could still pull a little bit lower. So my entry would be here, and my stop loss, since like I said we rarely fell below the 100 EMA on the weekly, only here due to COVID last year. So my stop loss is going to be below the 100 EMA. My profit is the previous highs or maybe even lower. If you want to make it or play it safe, we can go to 2.0 risk reward. The entry could be maybe a little bit higher, so about 215, because at the moment we are 224. So here somewhere, if you want to buy right now at 223, 22, where we are at right now, you should target the previous highs to get a 2 point risk reward ratio. But anyways, this was the simple but yet probably pretty effective analysis and prediction for Visa. So number one was Visa. Let me just quickly write it down so you guys know what this is about. So here you go. Now the second one is NEO. Now I have been analyzing NEO previously, and again NEO has potential to the upside, since the future is probably, it will likely be pretty good for electric cars, and NEO is outperforming itself, well, basically all the time. I mean, we are having here a drop due to the fact that the Nasdaq and all tech stocks are falling at the moment, but still Tesla is also falling at the moment. Nevertheless, we will here see a rally soon. Well, maybe not soon, a couple of weeks, could take some time, but we should retest here this triangle at least, because this is, well, we can say it as a one retest. This would be the second one. Usually we have at least three retests, and the third one could even be a breakout, which would lead to 60 levels and above. So for now, the support line at, what is this, 32, 31-ish, might be retested once again, and then we could see a rally back to the triangle here, the outer line. So if we check the weekly real quick, here we are constantly above the 100 EMA, and now this one is here seeing a cross with the support line here, or the lowest point, which means here if we draw a triangle here as well, just quickly can, so it likely means that we will here jump to the upside again, and maybe, like I said, see a breakout here. So here the CCI, the MACD pretty low, which means that often if you see this, we see a turnaround and we will go higher. So that's my prediction for NEO, is still bullish. Now the monthly chart, we are way above the 20 EMA this whole time, and we are here seeing kind of this divergence on the CCI and the candlesticks, which means as long as we stay here above this area, we could rally. So the second stock is NEO number two. Yeah, for the trade. So well, the trade would be pretty simple, especially now since the risk to the downside is pretty low. So the entry point would be somewhere around here. Long position. You could even buy at these levels right now, and I would put the stop loss somewhere around Well, 28 seems fair enough. And the target, well, if you're investing for a longer term, obviously the previous highs. And as always, if you want to make it simple, go for a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. But this would be the, well, the 1 to 2 would even probably be the kind of the triangle line here could come in play. So this would be the trade for Neo. Now, the last one is PayPal. If we take a look at PayPal, so here again, we have been, or PayPal has been on this uptrend this whole time. If we take a look at the weekly chart, pretty simple. We are here forming this, well, never ending divergence, which means if this line here could fall to this green line, the blue line on the CCI, we could fall here to the 50 EMA, maybe a little bit lower to this support area here, roughly at this point, and then see here a move to the upside. Just that simple. Now back to the daily. So here the MACD and the CCI might see here divergence as well. And if you have a double divergence, the CCI and the MACD, chances are always that we will here go higher. So my stop loss would be below the blue line, which is the 200-day EMA, because usually we rarely break this 200 EMA, which means if you're going for a long position, the stock market is at around 270. Now stop loss would be, if we target the previous highs, would be 300. So we would have 310, 305. So about 35 to 40 bucks. So half of it would be around 20, maybe a little bit less, which would actually be the stop loss here at around 255, 252, somewhere in between. So this would be the simple trade for PayPal, and this would be the third trade as well. So here on the 4-hour chart, we are here forming a double bottom with a MACD and CCI divergence. Chances are that we might here continue to form this triangle or stay within and then see a breakout out of it. So the third one is um, PayPal. Now let's just quickly go to the 1-hour chart. Well, not much to see. We're still within this triangle, but if you're planning to buy for longer term or kind of want to invest for a couple of months, this is the trade that I would take. So these has been my free stocks, and these have been my free stocks. So I hope you enjoyed them and I could help you somehow. Thanks for watching.